The time for action is now. The ATC privatization vote has been delayed in the House, but we must make sure our representatives know how bad the bill is. What you need to do to make sure it doesn't pass.
Look, we have a winner. Join us as we surprise the new owner of the Sweepstakes 172.
We are days away from AirVenture. What to expect in Oshkosh.
Plus, low and slow all around the world. AOPA Live this week begins in just a moment.
Build and fly with the Sonex Aircraft B models. The B models offer more room and comfort, more fuel, more panel space, more engine choices, and the same great Sonex Aircraft flight characteristics. Learn more at sonexaircraft.com.
This is AOPA Live This Week with Tom Haynes and Melissa Redinger.
The vote has been delayed, but the danger is still very real. The House could still pass a bill that would give air traffic control to a private corporation dominated by the airlines.
And that's why it's so important that you call your congressman today and tell him or her to vote no on H.R. 2997. Say no to ATC privatization.
At its core, our new plan will dramatically improve America's air traffic control system by turning it over to a self-financing, nonprofit organization.
So what's wrong with giving air traffic control to an airline-dominated monopoly? Well, three things. It won't fix the delay problem. It puts the people responsible for the delays in charge of air traffic control, and it will cost consumers more money. So let's break that down. You know, NAV Canada is touted as the model for the U.S., yet Canada's ATC costs on a per-mile basis are more than ours, even though the FAA run system handles 8 times more flights than Canada. And a Delta Airlines study showed that Canadian airline ticket buyers had to pay 59% more in ATC fees on their tickets after privatization. The proposed privatization scheme in the U.S. would turn air traffic control over to an unaccountable board dominated by big business, the airlines, and people with financial interests tied to the airlines. Now, the airlines are telling you that their delay problems are due to an antiquated air traffic control system run by the government, a system they want to control.
Well, we're not in control, and I think that that's one of the things that we see as a path to having success.
So let's get to the truth of the matter. The number one cause of delays? The airlines. Some 50% of delays are due to things the airlines could control: crew scheduling, maintenance, refueling. The number 2 cause? Weather. The number 3 cause? System volume. More airliners scheduled than the runways can handle. So changing who runs the air traffic control system isn't going to reduce the majority of delays airline passengers experience. And how about that so-called old system? Well, here's the truth. Today, the FAA is running a modern system with advanced navigation and surveillance systems. But the airlines can't use it. The FAA has the next-generation radar replacement system up and running everywhere in the country. It's called ADS-B. But only 1/6 of the airline fleet is currently equipped to use it. And it gets worse. The FAA is adding satellite-based LPV approaches at a furious pace, more than 3,800 procedures at more than 1,800 airports. Now, LPV means an instrument approach is there for every runway. Now, that increases airport capacity in bad weather. Guess how much of the airline fleet is equipped to use this modern next-gen system? 1%. 1%! The system is modern, but the airlines can't use it because of their antiquated equipment and their unwillingness to invest in new technology. So here's the truth. Giving air traffic control to an airline-dominated monopoly won't reduce delays. It will cost more, and the big businesses running ATC won't have to answer to the public. So call the number on your screen. You will be connected directly to the office of your representative in Congress. Tell the person answering the phone that you want your representative to vote no on H.R. 2997.
So what does it mean that there hasn't been a vote on privatization yet?
Well, most likely it means that the House leadership has been counting votes and they don't have enough yet to ensure passage of it. but that could change at any moment. In fact, we hear that there are some representatives who are wavering a bit, so that's why it's so important that our members still call Congress, because we need to shore up those votes that might be wavering and make sure they're a no vote so that this bill never comes to the House floor.
Now is the time to do it.
Now is the time.
But now to some much better news. One lucky AOPA member has just received the surprise of his life. Tom Haynes joins us now from Henderson, Nevada, just outside of Las Vegas. So Tom, what have you been up to?
Well, I sort of got caught up in a real estate scam, but hey, it's all legit. Trust me, it's all good. You'll see.
We're in Las Vegas to surprise the winner of the 2017 AOPA 172 Sweepstakes. The unsuspecting AOPA member of some 30 years is an airline pilot and part-time real estate agent, and that will be our scam. We enlist the help of entrepreneur Greg Herrick to be our shill.
Interested in some property out by the Henderson Airport. I understand you're a pilot.
Greg says he's flying into Henderson Airport and would like to meet Gary at the airport to get a look at some properties.
Would you have time to buzz around in the 182 a little bit? Is the flying very good out there?
Well, the flying is great out here.
Meanwhile, we set Mark Baker up with a crew to look like he's doing a video on FBOs. Our unsuspecting real estate agent walks into the FBO to meet the buyer. And then Greg is surprised to see his old buddy Mark Baker at the far end of the lobby.
Hey! Right, Gary, you got to meet Gary, Mark. Mark Baker with AOP. Are you
long
an
time,
AOP member?
long time. Like since 1978.
Well, thank you for doing that. We're out here today. Actually, we're kind of looking for you.
You're looking for me.
Yeah. You ever owned a 172 before?
I've never owned a 172.
You just won the sweepstakes airplane from AOP.
No way.
Yes.
No way. Come on. No way. No, you got to be kidding me. No. You're kidding. How did I do that?
You're paid a member.
I have been a long-time member.
Have you ever won an airplane before?
No, I haven't. This is fantastic. I can't believe this.
It's really cool.
Oh, man.
Gary shares the news with his wife, Sandy.
So I walk in, and Greg's like, oh, yeah, you know who that guy is over there? And they were doing some filming. I said, yeah. I said, I don't. He's got his back to me, and he tells me who it is. He goes, let's go give him, he's a longtime friend. Let's go mess with him. So I walk over here, and he comes over, and he says, you ever won anything? I says, no. And I got keys to a 172 in my hand. I won an airplane, and I'm not messing with you. I'm telling you the truth. It's crazy. Yeah, and I'm shaking, and I got tears in my eyes.
Like so many airline pilots, Gary has his roots deep in general aviation.
I used to fly a 206 aerial surveying airplane, that aerial survey that we could loft for 5 hours. Years ago, I come out with a single pilot, King Air, flight instructing, 135, 340s, 421s, get moved in the King Air, all single pilot.
And he and Sandy had been talking about getting their own airplane to go see their kids.
That's so cool.
So it's really great to give the airplane to somebody who wants to get back into general aviation, is enthusiastic about it. I'm sure he's going to put it to good use out here in Las Vegas. And hey, a winter in Vegas, that doesn't happen every day.
Well, I hope Gary thinks the airplane is better than the real estate fee he thought he was going to get.
No, I think he's going to get over that, although he was well prepared to show the property, but he was really excited to get the airplane, and so he's really going to enjoy it.
Well, in case you missed it, the next AOPA Sweepstakes airplane is going to be a whole lot of fun. The Superior Super Cub is a Piper on amphibious floats, skis, and tundra tires. It will be the most extensive refurbishment we've ever done. The winner will be the envy of pilots everywhere, so find out more on our website.
And if you love Cubs, and who doesn't, you are going to love AirVenture next week. It's the 80th anniversary of the Cub. There's a group of little yellow airplanes gathering ahead of Oshkosh to do a mass arrival on Sunday. Other highlights include Apollo astronauts, 2 B-29s, and the Blue Angels. You'll also be able to see a stand-in for the Superior Super Cub. We will have it at the AOPA campus, and like in years past, we're right on the flight line at the Brown Arch. We hope you'll stop in to see us and say hello.
Well, we had a couple of interesting folks stop in and see us here in headquarters. Around the world flights happen all the time, but imagine doing it in a helicopter. AOPA Live's Jennifer Nahn has the story of 2 pilots from the UK who are flying low and slow all the way around.
3 Journeys Round is a project which is now 4 years in the making.
Peter Wilson and Matthew Gallagher are combining passion and adventure while raising awareness for causes they care about.
And it combines initially my desire to do some long-range flying, which has its genesis in seeing other people fly long distances in helicopters and thinking that'd be neat to do. And a mission to raise awareness for sustainable development.
The quest has been 4 years in the making with 3 different trips. One around Africa, one planned around Latin America for next year, and the one that brought them to Frederick, going around the world.
There are people who've flown around the Northern Hemisphere, but what we will do is the first equatorial antipodal circumnavigation, picking up Palembang in Indonesia and Neiva in Colombia.
But along the journey, they've already seen some wonders of the world.
Glacier National Park with the glaciers was spectacular.
Taiwan, I enjoyed that. It was a great city, I found. It was different to where we've been. We've just been to an incredible place, Bangladesh, Dhaka, which is it's a highlight for different reasons.
They're on day 100 of their trip, and the next leg will take them to New York City, where they'll be traveling both the Hudson and East River routes. You can follow their journey via satellite tracking on 3 Journeys Round website. Jennifer Nahn, AOPA Live.
Well, next year the project will take them around the perimeter of South America. Hey, you know, Melissa, I love flying, but that almost seems to me almost a border on masochism.
I would tend to agree with you, but good for them.
You bet. Well, when we come back, new autopilot offerings from Garmin.
And there's big business blowing in the breeze. AOPA Live this week continues in a moment.
Brightly, instruments for professionals.
Well, welcome back. You know, new digital autopilots have capabilities we could really only dream about a few years ago. And now Garmin is expanding the market with 2 new boxes. Before heading out to Vegas, Tom Haynes stopped in Olathe, Kansas to try out some new autopilots.
Garmin is bringing high-end features to the light end of the market with the new GFC 500 for light single-engine airplanes like Cessna 172s and 182s.
For the GFC 500, you have to pair it with a G5 electronic flight instrument. So whether you have G5 in the cockpit today, or you can buy it with the autopilot mode controller and 2 servos. And that's really what makes up the GFC 500 autopilot system.
We tested the GFC 500 in a 172. The autopilot handles the airplane crisply and precisely and offers a host of new safety features. Electronic Stability and Protection, or ESP, nudges the controls towards safety if a pilot hand flying gets near an unsafe condition. If the pilot doesn't respond, as might occur with pilot incapacitation, the system will activate the autopilot,
engaging autopilot,
and level the airplane. It also has overspeed and underspeed protection. To recover from unusual attitudes, there's a blue level button, which engages the autopilot to restore the aircraft to straight and level flight. Flight Director Mode assists the pilot in following navigation commands even when the autopilot is not on. The GFC 500 will also fly just about any instrument approach you can imagine. The GFC 600 will be of interest to those flying high-performance singles, light twins, all the way up through turbine aircraft.
The GFC 600 can be paired with a wide range of Garmin flight displays such as the G500 and the G600, or serve as a standalone autopilot and integrate with a wide range of navigators, VHF nav comms, and many more opportunities as far as integration goes.
We tested one in a Bonanza. The features of the 2 autopilots are similar. The GFC 600 flew the Bonanza very precisely and crisply in normal and emergency modes, and expertly guided us through a coupled missed approach to runway 17 at Ottawa Municipal Airport in Kansas. If a pilot reaches weather minimums and wants to go around,
minimum,
a touch of the go-around button leaves the autopilot engaged and causes the airplane to pitch up to a climb attitude while cycling the Garmin GTN navigator into the missed approach procedure, and it'll fly the whole procedure as well. The pilot only needs to apply power and raise the gear and flaps. But if the pilot forgets to add power, the underspeed protection will keep the airplane from stalling into climb, another significant safety feature.
Many aircraft don't have autopilots today, or maybe don't have the type of safety-enhancing technology that ESP and underspeed and overspeed protection really incorporate and give pilots as far as capabilities go. So we're really, really committed and looking forward to investing even further into that technology.
The GFC 500 will cost around $7,000 if you already have a G5. If you need both, it's about $10,000. The GFC 600 starts around $20,000 for a Bonanza. You can find out more on our website.
And more from Garmin in advance of AirVenture, a portable all-in-one ADS-B receiver, the GDL52. The unit can receive both ADS-B in broadcasts for weather and traffic, and Sirius XM weather and music. It can send that data to a wireless device or a wired display in the panel. But if that's a bit rich for your blood, how about $199? ForeFlight and U Avionics will be selling the Scout, a miniature ADS-B receiver. When paired with a tablet running ForeFlight, you can get weather and traffic. You can buy the Scout at AirVenture or on Amazon.
And for ADS-B out, Garmin just announced a simple, low-cost solution, the GDL82. Now, ADS-B out is what you need to have by the year 2020 to continue to operate in airspace where you currently need a transponder. The GDL82 integrates with your existing transponder and transponder antenna. There are no panel modifications. You just need to install a small external GPS antenna. It does not give you ADS-B in, but many pilots already have portable ADS-B receivers that talk to their tablets. Anticipated street price for the GDL82 is just under $1,800. And you know, Melissa, Mark Baker went around to a lot of the avionics manufacturers and said, look, we've got to have an ADS-B solution below $2,000. So it looks like Garmin delivered.
He did, and it's really exciting to see. So we'll see what happens at Oshkosh, but I have a feeling there'll be more announcements.
We can hope.
Exciting news for ForeFlight users. Jeppson's global charts, terrain, obstacles, and nav data are available now in the latest release of ForeFlight. We announced the alliance between Jeppson and ForeFlight in May. This won't change your ForeFlight subscription price, but you can add Jep charts if you want with a Jeppson subscription.
And finally, out in the middle of a farm in Nebraska, in an old hog barn, is an aviation business whose products can be found at airports around the world. You could say this family's business is literally blowing in the wind.
From the time I left this place, there was a magnet for me to come back, and it was aviation, farming, and family. And I wake up every morning with a smile on my face, so I'm living the dream. This is the American dream. It doesn't get any better than this. My grandfather was in aviation. My father, who I work with every day in the cattle operation, the farming operation, and my kids are working right alongside me. We wake up and we do aviation every day because we're either flying or selling windsocks to pilots or going to air shows. It's instilling work ethics and values in aviation and agriculture into our kids.
In 1985 is when we started making windsocks. We had ordered a windsock from another company, and Gary was replacing it about every 6 months. And he brought this tattered windsock into the house and said, "Can you make one of these?" So I bought some material, made him a windsock, and then we had a Flying Farmer convention, and he said, "Why don't you make some for door prizes?" So I made a few for door prizes. They wanted to order some, the people that were there. And so then we came home and I ordered some more material and we started making them.
We went to a show in Reno, Nevada, National Agriculture Aviation Association show. We set up a booth out there, not knowing exactly what would happen. We was thinking about maybe we should discontinue the windsock business. But we said, let's do one more show. Let's do a big show. And there was one guy come by the booth and he says, you know, I've got $25,000 left in my budget and I want to spend it all on windsocks. And all of a sudden, doing, we decided that business can't go.
I love having the kids live on the same place, and They are doing a phenomenal job with the business. They moved back, and I thought, oh, I'm going to have to help them a lot, you know. And they just took off with great guns. I thought, they don't need me. I thought they couldn't run it without me, and they could.
It was a learning opportunity, almost a challenge, probably at the beginning. Now it's how many Huffy windsocks can we get around the world? We want them everywhere.
The size of the windsocks range anywhere from one that goes in your cup holder on your desk all the way up to a 36-inch in diameter and 12 feet long for your major airports. My father's a pilot, my sister's a pilot, and I'm back here on the farm where when I left over 20 years ago, there was not a day that I did not drive outside of any town I lived in looking for the right runway, the way it lays, the right field. Someday maybe I could buy that guy's pasture and put a runway in it.
We're plane crazy. I mean, you know, you'd think our kids have seen so many air shows and so many different airplanes that they would just think, Oshkosh again.
It's just dear to my heart because we grew up doing it. We grew up in this house in the kitchen, starting out as little kids, you know, from putting in grommets to helping Dad in the welding shop, as young guys on the farm and when the business was just starting. And every one of my siblings has memories of doing that. And now our nieces and nephews and our kids have those same memories. So I hope we're creating a little bit of a legacy in aviation and a little bit of a culture, I guess.
Mike's always been passionate about flying. He's been passionate about business, and this just put the two together. You know, I'm just really proud at what we've done in 6 years, and I know from our long talks in the print shop, you know, we're not done. We're gonna keep getting those windsocks out there.
You can read more about the Hoffman family and their windsocks in the August issue of AOPA Pilot Magazine. Boy, Melissa, talk about living the dream.
Absolutely, that is the aviation dream.
Yeah, boy, on the family farm, flying and doing a business you love. That's great. And that's about all for this week, but next week we have a full coverage of AirVenture.
We will have 3 shows from Oshkosh. Join us Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And if you're going to be at AirVenture, we'd love to see you in person.
You know, the AOPA campus is right on the flight line, just across from the old brown arch. So we hope to see you in Oshkosh. And if not there, we'll see you again next Thursday for another edition of AOPA Live.
Meet the pilots who fly with AOPA Insurance. They love flying and saving money, just like you. At AOPA Insurance, we understand how you fly and provide the coverage you need to keep on flying. Call for a free quote and see which AOPA insurance plan is right for you.